So we can get right into the first one, guys. And I guess the inspiration for this idea was the production world out there, mainly just the size and scale to put productions together. It's quite a bit of money. You got to organize a lot of people, and it falls off real quick to a smaller production world where it needs something nimble, something quick, something just quite frankly cost a hell of a lot less. So the approach I was thinking was a production company that you can use a word title like one take studios. It's a balance between quick turnaround, but great production that doesn't have all the bloatware and organization and just money that isn't best spent for what actually ends up on the camera. So, because there's a need out there for clients like B2B clients that do, they do a lot of smaller infotainment things, or, they just want to be in front of the camera, but look good, look sharp. It's one of the words I hear a lot in the B2B. It's like, we want to look slick and sharp. So offering them a nimble and small, like production headspace or theory, like getting into a room that's set up for you. You can just turnkey it on. The one take kind of headspace is if you do your prep and you have everything ready to go, you should be able to get through it pretty quickly. Like you can't rent a studio for half a day or a quarter day. But if I'm doing a interview within the hour or so, if we've done our homework, we're done. And that's where the meter ends. That's like your cab ride, it stops. So I think that allows us to streamline productions. It allows us to keep money down, because a lot of the barriers out there are like, I have a product to shoot, but I don't think I want to spend that kind of money in a production. And we lose a lot of clients like that. It's like, do you got anything smaller? Anything quicker? Yeah, we do. Is it good? It could be. And, in theory, you could do it. You can build a kind of a multi-world of like a hot working set that has some staples like interview rooms, podcast rooms that are dressed. You can have empty space that if you wanted to bring in a falsy kitchen wall to shoot some tabletop, it flies in and out. And again, we could really understand what they need, prep, and know how long that we're going to actually go and shoot this thing, right? We need 5 different dishes for a restaurant. I don't know, if we're not nailing it in 3 hours, we're doing something wrong, honestly. And you can even extend it into self-serve versions where I can come in with my team of whomever, my chef or it's a account person to itemize all the dishes, and they can go in and turn it on themselves. Like it should be like you can almost have one big button that you could hit like a sun tanning bed. It turns on and you get your footage sent to you, or you pick up your hard drive and you go. I've seen giant sets being built, and the camera follows left and right to the main character because it's a bite and smile shot or whatever. And all that hard work of the carpenters for 3 days is gone. It's gone. That money I could have spent on different formats, different. We can give you 50 outputs, and just a smarter way of going at it. And then being there, being alive as well. Content, breaking news happens. You can get on it and can get ahead of the game and produce something that's pretty tight and have it ready, late morning. The day is only 4 hours. The prep might be 3 days. And you build that into like, it has to happen for us to be confident when we walk in that door to shoot this thing and do only 1 or 2 takes and get the hell out. So it's not as, you could do flybys, turn it on and get what we get, which is fine. That loose raw stuff is as valid as higher end productions as well. And just being able to have a place to go and a headspace and a team that knows that you shouldn't be here very long because you're burning time, which is money. And a lot of people don't have a.
Okay, so if this was all boiled down, would you say that this is pretty much a one big studio that has multi uses, multi rooms, that is self-serve, that you can show up and use for like an hour? Like you walk in and it's okay.
I think you could keep it wider, as in you have like a blank canvas studio, But you do have these, almost karaoke booth style things where you go in and you rent it out. It's all ready to go. They got all the tracks, they got the music, they got the lights, they got the microphones, they got the table you stand on, and you have at it. And then you can find, which ones are the hot topic kind of rooms, or you have the podcast room or whatever. And you just get to just live. And then the other half is, hey, we got something with pets, something unique that you may need to be a little more custom. It should be enough to wheel some things and props here and there just to set your stage, and then you can go and have a little custom form version of it as well.
Josh, in terms of what you would be more familiar with, those Asian, Chinese e-commerce live stream production factories, it's essentially that.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Is with a lighter touch and a little more professionalism, because as much as we like, and we can, once you set it, you can go. But we would make sure that that it's done with that touch that just makes it different. Because I could lock myself in any room and just pound out stuff, but we're trying not to do that. There's that level. There's an extra level. It shows when you have good video content. It shows on your brand. So we're trying to keep that quality up and making sure that you're getting something that should have another zero at the end of the bill, but for less.
Yeah, I think that's definitely where the content creation space for all these brands are going into, mainly because with more emergence of these small to mid-market brands that are starting to pop up, mainly because probably the economic factors. But usually when they're creating these online content, they're looking between whether if they choose a local creator and then create these sets of a giant widespread of 6 different creators to then create 3 different ad variations with all of these content, and easily adds up to 18 different variances. And that's currently something that agencies or Prodcos hasn't really standardized that process. With something like this, it just is such a no-brainer with all the production studios that are not offering an automated booking system. Or I've seen a decent bit of these production studio websites with an automated system, but then with the open calendar, it's still showing all these giant gaps of 2-3 hours every day, where if they just made that booking process more efficient and just have hard cutoff points, they should be able to just pack it between 30-minute increments between every shoot.
It's the type of thing that any large studio that already exists could integrate by just looking at these addressing that 3-hour open period that they have between 2 bookings in a day, and saying, hey, what if we made game time for studio bookings that are just it's open space, it's 3 days out, it looks like nobody's taking it. If anybody wants to use it, $500, it's fine. Just pull up, just one time, you're good. 3 hours, you're at the William F. White soundstage. Yeah, something like that. And just let them rent that space out.
You walk into a full set, everything's ready to go. You just I'm a amateur home chef, but my photos just look like garbage. I'll bring in my 5 plates, I lay them down, bang it out. I'm out in an hour, but it just, the lighting and the camera and the lens just looks, the quality just goes through the roof. But again, we would have lost them. They would have shot on their phone and just cried for, until they moved to the next, which that gap from do it yourself to professional photography, it jumps again, a whole nother zero just to wake up in the morning. But I think you can get people in and out, have fun, play, take your one taking and go. You're welcome.
That was an awesome idea.